Hi and welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin. You know, in the past couple years, our channel's about 2 years old, I have recommended or introduced various products to you. And some of them didn't turn out very good. I want to update you on some previous recommendations or just introductions to the products. You know, I don't have a lot of sponsored products on this channel. I think the only one that I had over the past year or so has been a stick welder that was sent to me to demonstrate. I have not done that yet. Welding. As I mentioned, it's dual voltage, 110 and 220. I will be soon. But a lot of the other products I've gotten, I look at them as upgrades or improving the ease of use with some of our equipment. And after using them, I wouldn't recommend them. So I want to clear up anything that I have introduced to you and set the record straight. Thank you for joining us, and let's get to work. Hey, if you enjoy this type of content in our channel, we sure would appreciate a thumbs up right here. Thank you so much. I did a video a while back and I asked the question, would I buy this tractor again? And here's what I said. When it comes time to upgrade or whatever, I'm going to look elsewhere very, very hard before I go down to my John Deere dealer. I had two complaints with John Deere. One was their pricing. Still not happy about that, I can tell you. The second was the right to repair issues with the farmers. That was a real hot button for me. I just believe very, very strongly in that farmers especially should be able to work on their own equipment and being able to download the software that's necessary to do that. But in that video, I asked and answered the question, what would I buy if I had to do all over again? And my response was an emphatic TYM. But this is nearly a 40 horsepower tractor. You know, if I went on about the same thing from TYM, I'm going to be about 20% less money. I would have bought a TYM if I had it to do over again. Now, all these months later, I'm not so sure. I don't own a TYM, as you can see. I was going off of, number one, what I saw in videos, other owners. Number two, the pricing relative to the amount of tractor that you got. Matter of fact, there's a YouTube channel called Mountain Iron and Timber. Now this poor guy, I think he's done 4 or 5 videos and gotten tons of views on it about his experience with his TYM tractor.
If you buy a TYM, make sure you've got an extra, call it 70,000 in the bank to buy a skid steer when it breaks, or at least to buy a second tractor for when it breaks. I took it to the dealer 6 months ago, and unfortunately they have done nothing for me. I made, I don't know, probably a good 25 videos showcasing their machines, about how great they were and how well they did, and I really honestly firmly believed that at the time. I had no reason not to. The machine did great. Everything about it was awesome. Then it broke. Hours on them. And with less than 500 hours, they shouldn't have catastrophic failures. I mean, even I'm at 450 hours and my machine needs a new motor and a new main hydraulic pump. Think about that.
And he had a problem with the tractor, brought it to the dealer under warranty. It's been there 8 months. Apparently, what he said, and what I've been able to learn from watching other videos and reading some columns, is there's an issue in getting TYM parts. Now, are there issues with other tractors? Absolutely. You could probably go on, not probably, you can go online and see problems with some Deere. But 8 months, and it seems to be a systemic issue with TYM and not being able to get the parts. There seems to also be some turmoil within TYM itself. The CEO resigned. They don't even have a CEO right now. The CFO is running the company, and apparently it's affecting their ability to repair and for dealers to get parts. This is a huge issue. I mean, the guy's tractor is under warranty. Now here's what I also learned. I went into the comments on these videos, and what I saw was really 3 different things. I saw people that have TYM tractors that are saying they're great. I saw creators that are using TYM tractors in their videos, but I also saw, actually there's 4 things. Probably the third thing would be people saying they were considering TYM, and after seeing his videos and others, they're no longer considering TYM. But the other thing I saw was other people that own TYM sharing similar stories about their tractors being broke down and they can't get parts. I don't know the reason for this. I kind of think that maybe TYM grew so fast that they outgrew their infrastructure. I still think it's a good tractor, but you know, to me, one of the biggest things in deciding whether I'm going to purchase a certain tractor brand is dealer infrastructure. They were growing, but they were weak in that. Is this going to hamper other shops from opening up TYM dealerships? That's going to further exasperate the problem, or that original issue. It's just concerning. And it just leads me to think, you know what, maybe I did pay more for my Deere, but maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe there's a reason they've been around 150 years or whatever it is. I still don't agree with what at times is obscene pricing, but at the same time, is it more the fact, and I don't know the answer to this, is it more the fact that you get what you pay for? Kubota is right up there with Deere pricing. And I tell you what, you go far and wide to find a Kubota owner that's not happy. I mean, I am a Kubota owner. I owned a Kubota before going to my 1025R, my first Deere, and absolutely loved the little tractor. It was a little BX. So I'm not sure what the answer is. I really not. For me, it's put a pause on making that decision if I ever do decide to upgrade from this tractor, go to a larger tractor. Now I'm not so sure what I would do. But that's a question that I asked and answered that I wanted to amend my thoughts. I'm not 100% certain, as I was when I made that video, that I would definitely buy a TYM. I'm not sure. I wonder, what do you guys think? What experiences have you had? I'll bet there's a lot of guys out there that absolutely love their TYMs, and I don't doubt that a bit. But the other side of the issue, I don't know. What have your experiences been? So this is a product I was really excited about. I think it was actually a Christmas gift from my wife Tess, and here is how it's supposed to work. Really close up what the issue is. So this is the half that stays on the tractor, okay, and it has a little release button here, and this stays on the attachment. So what you're supposed to do, so we all know what a hassle it can be sometimes hooking up to or disconnecting our PTO shaft. I guess more really hooking up because the splines have to line up exactly. Some tractors, including this one, the 2038R, you can go to kind of a neutral position on the PTO selector and the PTO will spin. That makes it easier. So theory being, you're supposed to be able to slide this in and then these pins come through and you're hooked up and ready to go. Yeah, but here's the problem. So once it's hooked up, in order to separate it, there's 2 rings that are mounted on here that you are able to pull it apart or snug it up, and you can see they're broken off. The tolerances on this are not great. There is a couple other brands on the market which I know do work well. This particular one, yeah, I've got it sitting underneath my workbench. I don't use it, and I would not buy it again. You may remember that I introduced to you the Vevor, I'm not sure how you say it, fuel transfer tank. It's obviously to eliminate gas cans, and it just was not any good. I actually did do a retraction later on because, as you see now, this is the fuel transfer that I currently use, made by Racetrack. It's all poly. It has a heavy-duty fill spout. Unlike the Vevor, which was a crank. And the problem with the Vevor was leaks. The thing leaked constantly. Matter of fact, if you go on the internet and search that tank, you'll see a number of videos on how to repair the leaks in the transfer pump. It just was not good. This I've had wonderful luck with, and this I would recommend. And by the way, any recommendations that I do make, I will put the link in the description. I absolutely love this. So this is something that bothers me probably more than it should. If you've watched the channel for any length of time, you've seen me use the foam cannon. on the end of my pressure washer, and it works fantastic. Absolutely love it. Again, I'll put the link in the description. If you've got equipment to clean, I would highly recommend that. What this was for was this goes on to the end of your pressure washer, and the theory being, because right now you put soap on, you've got to take this off, then put your proper pressure washer nozzle on, and then pressure wash. What this was supposed to do is you leave the soap cannon on and you put your pressure washer nozzle actually on this end. So here you've got the soap cannon, here you've got the clean or fresh water nozzle for your pressure washer, and what you're supposed to be able to do is use this switch to switch back and forth. Well, if you look, the switch is already broken. It leaks. Yeah, I was excited about this just because I get excited about stuff that's going to make things easier and faster and what have you. And no, I wouldn't recommend this. It's the quality of what we seem to find more often than not from these imports. My Curtis cab. Quality's fine, does everything as advertised, my mistake. The problem is it has no air conditioner. So what I've got to do is take the doors off every spring and then reinstall them in the winter. Not a big deal, but it sure would be nice to have it air conditioned. I had other options. I chose this because of cost. Again, the cab's fantastic. Love it in the wintertime. It is heated. Plus, there are options that are available, Tech-Type being one, where it has the wraps or the rollover protection system built right into the cab. So you could take off your existing one, because as you could see, it does increase the height, overall height of the tractor. So if clearance was an issue in your barn or your workshop, it's not in mine, I've got 12-foot doors, but if it were, that certainly doesn't help the situation. So my recommendation is if you have a tractor, you're thinking about getting a cab, if you're buying a new tractor and going to get a cab on it, spend the extra money. To me, it is well worth it. So here's a product that you've seen a lot of on this channel. This is the SPYPOINT Trail Cam. So the Trail Cam works just fine. There's no issues at all, and the photos that we get are pretty much high quality. But there's two problems with it. One is the sensitivity. So I've got it pointed out here at the 60 acres. Anything at all. Seems like even the movement from the tall grasses in that will cause it to take a picture. I have the sensitivity set on low. I'm not sure what else to do. If any of you have this, please let me know. But there's a bigger issue with it that really kind of ticks me off. So when you get the SPYPOINT Trail Cam, it tells you that you get 100 photos free. Now the nice thing is this is sent directly to your cell phone as it takes pictures, and then it will sync every day at a time that you set. I have it set at noon. It'll send you any pictures that it's taken over the last 24 hours. But it takes pictures constantly. Again, even though the setting is low. Now what they want you to do, and I'll show you this, these are plans that are available. You can take the premium plan at $15 a month, which is unlimited photos. The standard plan, which is 1,000 photos for $10 a month. The basic for $5 a month gets you 250 photos. I'm currently under the free plan, which gives you 100 photos. It's not an unreasonable amount of money, right? I just don't want any more subscriptions. I mean, we all have subscriptions to TV and channels and what have you. I just don't want any more. I paid good money for this, and I want it to take photos for me. And the sensitivity is something that I just cannot figure out. Here's one example. During the winter when it snows, little snowflakes coming down, it triggers the camera. So I've not found a way around this. I think they're hoping that, because what happens is, for instance, right now, I used up my 100 photos 2 weeks ago. So every 30 days, it gives you another 100 photos. Well, when I get the new 100 photos, it seems like it's gone after 1 or 2 days. So I know I'm missing a tremendous amount of probably really cool photos with the wildlife that we have here. Again, if you're willing to pay that each month, it's going to be a great product for you. I'm not willing to do it. I'm not going to do it. So that's your decision whether you, but again, as a trail cam, it does work great, really high quality photos. So here's a regret. The regret buying my Ram? No, I love this truck, I really do. But the regret that I have, and it's short-sightedness, I should have got a 3/4 ton. I went for the 1/2 ton. For me, it was a mistake. I should have spent the additional amount of money. I do trailer heavy equipment. We also in years past have camped, so pulling a trailer, a camper. Yeah, I love the truck, absolutely love the Rebel, but if I had it to do over again, I would have definitely got a 3/4 ton. So again, my advice, if you can afford it, spend the extra money. You know, bigger's better, right? You know, having more power is always better than not enough. So it certainly is true with this. Love the truck, have about 40,000 miles on it now, have had virtually no issues with it. But if I had it to do over again, and while I've got the tractor in the background, here's something that I'm wondering too. Now, this is not something that I recommended necessarily, but I'm wondering this. Tractors with the pollution control DEF systems or having to regenerate, I'm wondering if financially, if it's a ticking time bomb. There's an awful lot of talk about the current administration relaxing EPA standards, which if they do that, and let's say we go back to the way things were prior to, I believe, 2014, to where these pollution control systems are not necessary anymore. It's going to do two things. It's going to lower the cost of a tractor. But if a consumer, let's say I go to sell this, if a consumer is deciding between, let's say, my 2023 and maybe just say a 2026 that comes out without all this pollution stuff on it, is it going to devalue what I have? I think I know the answer to that. What we don't know for sure is if all this talk is going to come about, if they are in fact going to get the EPA to reduce standards. Don't know, but I'm wondering it. I really am. So here's one that I just did just a couple episodes ago. It's called Ospho, and it's actually a rust converter. And I demonstrated, using it and also painting the product that I was getting the rust removed from. It works great. I'm not retracting that at all. But I will say this, and this is my own fault. They say clearly in the directions, after you put the rust treatment on, wait 24 hours minimum before you paint. Well, with me, that's for everybody else. I don't need to wait that long. And I went ahead and painted it, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 hours after I put it on. And it covered, but there are some streaks that show through the paint. My own fault. So if you guys use that, it's a great product. Follow the directions. Otherwise you're not going to get the results that you want. My fault for that. So not long ago, just a couple episodes ago, I introduced 2 soil testing kits that I was going to use in the garden. Okay, this one is called Garden Tutor. I'll put both the links to these in the description. All this is from GoSmart, and this process is similar to the other one. I'll take the 4 samples, and then I've got a bag to put them in, and then a UPS envelope. It's all paid for once you purchase it. Here's the first one, and in the video, in my introduction video, you even saw that I had problems with being able to read it. I'm going to run some distilled water over it because I can't see what the colors are. Well, I still can't see. The other one is GoSmart, and that's been terrific. what's left over and fill up this bag. Actually, they do, on the side of the bag, it does say fill to this line, and that's about where I've got it. It goes right in this prepaid UPS envelope that they give you. Matter of fact, I finally got the, actually not finally, it only took about a week to get the soil test results back, and it was really comprehensive. And I'll be sharing that with you guys. So, soil test kits, this one is the one that I would recommend. Again, the link's going to be in the description. So up here on the top shelf, this is my soil pulverizer. This is made by Dirt Dog. It is a soil pulverizer. It's got 2 rollers back here, plus the tines up front. Now I got this over a year ago from Good Works Tractor, which, by the way, Good Works Tractor, Courtney over there is fantastic. Great service, great products. I don't regret purchasing it from them necessarily. I guess in some ways the jury is still out, but the way I feel right now is I do regret purchasing the soil pulverizer. And here's the problem. So often if I have a site to redo, maybe it's bumpy and the customer wants it taken care of, I'll choose this right here, the rototiller. And I'll go over it and loosen up the soil and then grade it either with the bucket or the soil pulverizer. The problem is that the little tines on the pulverizer that dig into the ground, they will pull up sticks, roots, grass, and what have you, that though you may have the site pretty level, I mean, it looks terrible after that. I think the proper usage for the soil pulverizer is a large site with mostly dirt that you can go through and level things out in. Matter of fact, I should have known better because I actually had watched a Tractor Time with Tim video where he had the same experience.
I tried to extend the top link here to get those teeth out of the way so that they wouldn't be dragging up like a rake. But I never got it to work really the way I wanted it to work.
For Greg's yard here, that soil pulverizer would do a beautiful job at leveling. And it did where we didn't have the sod. I think it looked pretty good. I don't think the soil pulverizer will work like we wanted it to. Not really.
And by the time you got done using the soil pulverizer, remember he said to Christy, I'd have been better off just sticking with the tiller. So yeah, it has its proper application and use. But if you use it outside that, I just haven't not had great luck with it. So here's a regret that I have. I did not put a vapor barrier in. Should have done that. Here's an example of the project table that I have. You can see it's got rust on it. I do have some rust on some tools that are left out in the open. If you're building a barn, I would highly recommend, even if you're not going to insulate it necessarily right away, I hope to someday, but I would still put a vapor barrier up. I think it's really smart. It's going to protect your equipment, and I didn't do that. And it's not necessarily too late, but I probably will do it prior to any type of insulation. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I think it's a real responsibility. You know, we reach thousands and thousands of people. So I take very seriously the responsibility of always delivering accurate information. Even though sometimes, you know, it might appear I put my foot in my mouth, I don't care about that. I'm going to correct it. And if it keeps you guys from spending money that we all work very, very hard for, so be it. Hopefully I don't lose any credibility for it. Hopefully I get respected for being as honest as I possibly can, because that's the only thing. Look, as I said earlier, I don't have sponsorships on products. I do work around here, I use various products, and when I find one that I think is really cool or really going to benefit us, I'm going to bring it to your attention. But I'm also going to continue to follow up on any of those products that I have recommended, good, bad, ugly, whatever, and let you guys know. And that's the purpose of this video. I hope you enjoyed this. God bless you all, and thank you so much for watching Tractors in Life.